All right, we're back live here at LTV. It's April 27th, a Wednesday. I'm here again with Natalie from iLoveUkraine and Matt from LTV. Thanks so much to both of you. I know we had a week of break. Everybody needed a little bit of rest. We've been so busy that we've been really exhausted. But today we're back in action and a lot of things have been happening. I know Natalie just gave me a brief update on all the different things she's been involved in despite her being away. And it's just the war hasn't stopped. So the efforts that we've been doing haven't stopped either. We've received some more donations through the airport that I'm going to give Natalie after the show. So Natalie, give us a quick intro on how people that, you know, in your family or friends, like some updates on how people have been doing in the Ukraine.
So I was able to get in touch with my family and friends, and it's not easy. It's not easy because they're adjusting to very difficult new normal lives, and especially they went through very difficult COVID waves. After 2 years of lockdown, everybody's exhausted and tired, and living in the war-like conditions, it is very, very difficult. And I spoke with my best friend from childhood yesterday, and I asked her, how are you guys doing? How are you guys coping with everything? And she said, if you don't hear sirens for 2-3 hours, you're asking yourself, is everything okay? How come you don't hear sirens? And then if you have sirens, you are thinking to yourself, oh my God, now I have to run to the bomb shelter. So it became such a new normal that every 2 or 3 hours people hear sirens, that it's unusual when you don't.
I think that in general is the scariest part, or one of the scariest parts for me, how even reading the news, it's starting to become normal. Oh yeah, there's a war.
Right. Yes.
You know, when it first started, we were like, still more in so much more outrage. You know, it's kind of like people see it as like a natural disaster. You have a flood going somewhere, an earthquake, and then, it happens, and then everything gets rebuilt. But this is a different situation where we do not know when it's going to end. And one of the questions I have is, how are people getting food and medical supplies, like basic things that they cannot wait for until they get shipped through us?
And they cannot buy them also because it's a huge shortage right now. I had a conversation with our partner, charitable organization that we work with in Kiev, Maybutnye of Polisa, Future of Polisa. That's the organization that is expecting our 3,000 pound shipment, hopefully soon, any day now. So I spoke with the representative yesterday, and he said that it is very difficult because people that left that region where the war crime happened, they're running out of money to live in Europe or in Western Ukraine. So they're coming back because they don't have jobs. Some people didn't have savings, or they ran out of savings because it's already 2 months. And they come back and they find their apartments and houses basically half bombed, no kitchens, no running water. They're cooking food, whatever they can catch. They're making fires to cook food for themselves. There is no clean water to drink. It just, the disruption is huge, and people are coming back. And also what he said is that when Russian soldiers left, they left behind lots of bombs. They would put bombs in refrigerators, in the basements, in cars. So when people open something up, it blows. Yes.
Oh my God, I haven't even read that in the news. That is absolutely, that just sends goosebumps down my spine. I also have to say, like, I'm shocked to hear that people actually have to go back into these bombed areas knowing they are walking back into the war. Are there no like Red Cross shelters set up further west or in Western European cities where people don't have to rely on their own funds?
Doing what they can as well under the circumstances. It just, there is so much demand that every person needs help right now. And we're worried about our shipments because they're being delayed, unfortunately. So our first shipment that we sent to Khmelnytsky region to the Catholic Church, it has been 6 weeks already. So it should arrive to Ukraine any week now. And the second shipment of 3,000 pounds that we sent about 3 weeks ago, we were told 2 weeks, but because we're delivering a large shipment of 5 big pallets of supplies to Ukraine in the war zone, the East America organization, they said that they're experiencing huge delays right now.
But on a positive note, you have been able to get in touch with families, and you're in the process of working with those people to get them out of Europe, basically. Can you give us a little bit more information on that, Natalie?
Yes, iLoveUkraine has been spending lots of time on helping people to get to safety and to improve their living conditions. So right now, so when the war started, I reached out to people who I knew myself if they need help, and now they're taking me up on my offer, and we're happy to help and do what we can. And if there are any organizations that would like to help with immigration processes, that would be of a huge help, because we're not equipped, we're not immigration lawyers to give any advice. We're just doing what we can and doing our own research online.
There's actually a local attorney that I would like to bring into the loop in one of the next podcasts, Andrew Strong. Many people may know him. He was candidating to become town judge. And he lives in Vermont now. Him and his family, they moved away. And I know he's actually also been specifically helping families with immigration matters. And he's also involved in investigating war crimes. So he would be, I already brought you guys in touch. So
yes, thank you.
I think that would definitely be a good touch, a good contact to reach out to. And then maybe we can do a podcast where you guys can talk about these issues on another podcast in the near future, so people get a better idea.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So what is the outlook on people now being able to come here?
Well, on April 25th, the U.S. opened up a new immigration program that a U.S. citizen that is vaccinated and has a job can financially support a family or a person from Ukraine. So we have been trying to do it personally. And also I read online that you can do it through an organization, which would be iLoveUkraine. And I was late today for the podcast. I apologize, guys. I was on the phone trying to get information how a nonprofit organization can sponsor somebody to come to this country. From what I'm reading online, it's not clear how to do it.
Yeah, no problem. I know things have been, they're always moving faster than we can run after. Also, one of the things we talked about briefly before we got on the podcast is the fact that it's getting more and more difficult to communicate with people back in the Ukraine because they appear so traumatized. Can you give me a little bit more input on that? And I think we also have some ideas on maybe how people can also help in that matter that have the resources and abilities.
Yes, I feel as if every single person who escaped the war, who is still in Ukraine, every single person will need mental help and support, because what they went through, is unimaginable. And even from my personal experience, when I talk to them, you can see how, I cannot say even stressed out, I cannot say rattled. It's just, they're just running on so much adrenaline and talking very fast. And sometimes I have to bring them back to the conversation we're having, because they're having a very hard time concentrating. And I know these people, they are extremely smart, extremely accomplished people. So they have been through so much. So another favor or appeal we would like to ask is for mental health. If mental health professionals listening to us, if they can help donating a few pro bono hours, that would be a huge help.
Okay, and you can reach out directly to Natalie through iLoveUkraine, or you can also reach out to me if you're reading our mailing. And anything else that we need to share for today? We don't want to take too much time up. And if there's nothing else for us to talk about today, then we would love to continue our tradition for Natalie to have a few words in Russian to summarize what we've just talked about. So I'm going to give the last word to Natalie.
Спасибо, Бернадет. Спасибо. Я расскажу, о чем мы сейчас разговаривали с Бернадет и с Мэтт at the LTV in East Hampton, телевизионной студии. Мы разговаривали о том, что уже 2 месяца идет война, и очень тяжело людям с едой и с предметами ежедневного быта. И мы разговаривали о том, что те shipments, это не посылки, груз, который мы послали, тонны груза, которые мы послали на Украину, он еще не дошел, к сожалению. И каждый день я звоню компании, которая занимается транспортировкой, и они извиняются, что они не могут доставить так быстро, как мы хотим, потому что мы знаем, что люди очень нуждаются. Мы также обсуждали, что те люди, с которыми я разговариваю, они прошли через очень-очень много стресса, и нужна будет помощь психологов. Может, кто-то, кто слушает нашу передачу, мог бы помочь людям несколько часов хотя бы с mental health, как сказать по-русски, с психологической травмой, которую пережили люди. Мы также опять будем собирать следующую попытку на груз, и мы в пятницу будем опять все паковать в коробки, и в понедельник опять оно будет все отправлено на Украину. И надеемся, что скоро мы получим известие о успешной доставке. Спасибо большое. Слава Украине!